BG already knows. You know who I'm going to rep.
Wow. You two agreeing, huh?
Yeah. Bleed blue. Green wall.
Dream green. With that being said, let's head over to a commentary team of Trent and Sayori.
Thank you so much, Shiver. Drow, Visage going up against the Luna lineup. Trent, it's going to be a hell of a game one. Who you favoring here?
Looking forward to it. I don't know. First pick Radiant, though. I mean, that's been the key to so much of this tournament. And VP, they get it. Optic just handed away because they had something prepared.
Yeah.
They were ready this whole time. Optic getting 3-3, one of his key heroes, looking for the match. Now pairing it up and enhancing him with the Drow. It's hard to go against it, not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
But,
I'm a little bit in that
here.
Optic camp, but I am super excited. This is gearing up for an exciting series. We even get to see a Pangolier on top of that to break up these fights. We haven't seen much Pango this
It's an excellent passer hero, though. It's kind of the way that VP allow him to try and take over that whole mid-game, early-game situation, get lots of damage coming out from him, and generally he's going to be creating space throughout that kind of early game, looking for Ramses to carry them. This is kind of one of those, like, slight sacrifice situations where Ramses is kind of this hardcore anchor when he's playing the Morphling or the Luna. Well, they're hoping to be carried away by him.
Certainly a lot of pushing power on the side of Optic, that's for sure. We'll see a little skirmish at this bottom bounty rune. Roger taking a lot of right clicks here, and it looks like VP will find the advantage. They get 3 out of the 4 runes. That's playing to win.
Kyle says it best, I tell you. He's very confident in this draft strat, I have to say. And yeah, it is a little weird now to see the old Pango versus the Naga. You know, so used to seeing it first picked every single time in pubs.
Doesn't this feel like a good supporting cast around the Drow Ranger? You got the Visage, who's classic. Marana's been on fire this tournament. You've also got the Jakiro and Naga to help break things up. A lot of good peel for the Drow tends to be a hallmark of a draft that can at least make that squishy Ranger work.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Pasha and Roger, right? They're the ones that have to get into that back line, find Pycat, obliterate him as soon as possible. Pretty much no other role for them. I mean, you look at targets in this game, and she really is the most obvious one. You're going on a Gravekeeper Spoke, Visage, not nearly as easy.
Yeah, no doubt there. So fairly standard lane setup coming out. Visage will take the mid lane against the Death Prop, then up top is going to be the Naga Marana. So you do have some setup for that arrow with the Ensnare up against the Luna Bane. Not an easy lane combo to go up against. A lot of right clicks on these two, and Bane, notorious for being a good laner, did go for that first point in Brain Sap as mid lane. No one taking a lot of damage, as is 33, but no first blood. A close call. Now back up top. This could be your first blood indeed. It's Solo taking the right clicks, and CC&C will find that bonus gold on the pot.
He's been enjoying his time in the off lane. Yeah, a little bit better time there. Kills there is 3-3, of course, taking over the mid in this one. I guess we'll have to consider that the stake lane, I suppose. They've kind of shoved high. You know, these Drow Rangers, man, they're kind of like a pseudo core. She shows up, she farms in the lane a little bit, and then she just hides in the jungle, giving that bonus the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Up top, more damage being exchanged. And checking in on this bottom lane, it's the safe lane Pango with Rogers Sand King helping support. It seems to be a fairly even spread as well. This Drow Ranger, 4 last hits, not ideal, but certainly room to recover.
One of those heroes that's pretty rough from the get-go. And mind you, she's against a Pango, too. Doesn't have the highest base damage, but he's got his Quelling Blade, and she doesn't really have that good of an answer. PvD, you can see he's trying to harass him as much as possible, and he is a tanky hero, but it's looking a little dangerous.
Yeah, a lot of right clicks coming his way. They've used their burst, though, and now he's going to head for the hills. Pasha jumps in with some pretty serious damage.
Roger's coming, though.
One more, and they've got it. Burrow Strike, it's only level 1. They don't need it. Pasha finds that last auto attack, and they will secure a kill, making it 1-1.
Puss in Boots taking over here. Dances his way.
Okay, things leveling out a little bit. Very small advantage for Virtus Pro. Mid lane seems to be a wash, but the bottom lane really where those scales are being tipped. Now Pango pulling way ahead of the Drow.
Yeah, ideally you're looking for more kills up top, I would say, right? You have the Marana, you have the Naga combo. Been very successful so far this tournament. In lane, you've got the net into Arrow. Throughout the rest of the game, you have net and Song into Arrow. So you're not looking to just kind of like trade even in a lane like this.
Yeah, absolutely not. There's kill potential there. But meanwhile, in the bottom lane, PPD again walking a bit too far forward. Takes a stun from Roger. Pasha jumps forward with a swashbuckle, very low on mana, but has a couple of mangoes if he wants to go for the shield crash. They might not even need it. It'll be another death for the Jakiro as Roger gives him that one last crab claw to secure the kill.
And nowhere from for him to go, but you know, it is space for Pycat. They were dragged very far away.
True.
He got in there, and he's look at his CS. He's
Dead
now
even
caught
with the
back
Pango.
up.
Yeah.
So,
Just like that, right? Top lane is starting to favor Virtus Pro. Ramses is out CSing CCNC. They did have that kill, so that does help, but not an easy lane for this dire duo.
no, the Bane is a perfect support in this situation because if they ever try and go for this net arrow combination, he's going to be there for the split. You know? He's going to be ready with that perfect timing, and then kind of a big waste. And then they can also try and turn it on you, right? It's a Luna. You don't necessarily want to get that close.
Now, he doesn't have Nightmare yet. He actually went for
well,
that
there you
value
go.
point in Enfeeble, but
Doesn't
also
even need it.
tipping the scales in this lane, I think, making CCNC's life a little bit more difficult.
It's true, though, because if you just get the level 2 Brain Zap, you don't even have to stop the arrow from hitting. You can actually just tank it, and if they try and go on you, you just Brain Zap in the tube. You'll just be able to fight back. So
Yeah.
really no winning situation up top for Optic.
And now mid lane, some rotations. PPD makes his way in. Roger hit by a dual breath as well as a Grave Chill. Soul Assumption, not enough for a kill. But they show that Sand King who's
Back
boss.
up top, exactly what we were talking about just happened. They tried to go in solo, he Brain Zapped, and now Ramsey's trying to turn the kill first. It's a battle of the carries here.
It's going to be close, but Solo goes down first as they trade 1 for 1. CC getting the obvious benefit, not only getting the kill first, but actually the Luna not able to grab that kill on Zai. It does go to the creeps. Back down bottom, some mangoes being eaten here as Pasha invades. Does secure that bounty rune, tops off that bottle.
Everything's so extremely even, and most of the actions, as we've come to expect, on the side lanes, man. You know, these true 1v1 mids. Now, they're not as exciting as everyone was hoping when we would finally get back to 1v1 mids, right? You know, we're kind of stuck in these DK, DPs, and these kind of matchups, but that's okay. You know, eventually we'll get some buffs on the plane.
See Pasha in some trouble bottom lane. Now Pycat with those frost arrows slowing him down as he tries to micro in the trees, and actually some fancy footwork might ensure his survival, but no. PPD finds him with a dual breath liquid fire. That will be the end of the Pangolier.
Yeah, he was actually quite close to that Swashbuckler coming back.
Mid lane though, Trent, it is starting to tip in favor of no one. He has 13 denies now compared to the 1 of the Visage, and actually up by about 50% in terms of last hits.
Yeah, higher damage, and as well as just the advantage of the Crypt Swarm. No real kill opportunities for 3-3.
Full level ahead there on no one as well. Skipping the ultimate at 6, not a big surprise. 3-0-3 is the build. Great for lane sustainability.
It looks like this has been communicated, though, because Optic are starting to rotate these supports inside, too. You have the Vision granted from the Naga as well there.
Mirana on the run up top. Nice defensive leap from CC. Be able to survive. You can see the pressure in this lane. Ramsey's really no fear, just cutting the lane like this with very aggressive posture. Bottom lane, no. PPD, he could be in trouble again. Pasha jumps in with that swashbuckle. Rogers there with a level 2 stun, and there is nowhere for the Jakiro to go. You might have 2 heads, but in this case, it's not better than 1.
Still have this DD here on 3, and Zai nearby.
Oh,
Nothing. They
up top.
really want to make something go.
Is this a kill on CC? He's got 1 more leap. It's going to be close. They don't quite have the damage. Now back mid lane. They do have to kill to get a 3-3 down. PPD now left behind as no one pops the ultimate as he dings 7. It'll be an easy kill on the Jakiro, and VP getting some serious momentum now. 2 down for nil, and the tier 1 tower going to take a lot of damage from boot.
And what happened there was that they just saw CCNC being dove and dove and dove, and no supports helping. So where are the supports? Well, clearly they must be trying to make a play in the mid lane. So first Peter gets targeted, and then Zai, when he tries to make the aggressive play, punished from behind on the 3-3. And things now looking very good for Virtus Pro on the first Exorcism.
No doubt. Pasha gets initiated on, but able to shield crash back to safety. No counter kill from Optic. At least 3-3. Now level 6, so we do have some familiars out. Stoneform stuns. Maybe they can get this kill on no one. He's getting very low. He's lost the Exorcism, and they do find a much-needed kill on that mid laner, but it takes 4 from Optic. Big rotations, and that means Ramsey has an absolutely free lane up top.
Yeah, CC did not need to make the rotation. It's hard to tell in the moment, of course, but punished as that's just more space for Ramses.
Tower does stay standing mid, though, at about half HP. Small victory there for Optic.
Smoke Death making their way down to the bottom lane as well here. So Roger, a decent target. Caught in the wrong spot.
And if they can catch him, looks like he might walk right into it. He's on the low ground, dual breath, straight into ensnare. This poor Sand King is done for. Nice gust from Pycat ensures the kill. No way to burrow strike to safety, and that's another one up for Optic.
Killed the Zai there as well. Just trying to get him towards his boots first off, and then likely an urn.
Back towards mid. Zai on the level 4 Naga has his boots, soon to be level 5. Pretty good rotations coming out of him. See no one just stacking in the jungle here. Well, not stacking, farming in the jungle.
Holding that wave. Far back near his tower. Has prime time. No real concern.
It feels a lot better for Pycat, though. The opening in this lane was a little rough for the Drow Ranger, but his supports did a good job ensuing some chaos. Now he's got some time in the jungle. He's already level 7, and really not far behind Ramses, just a couple hundred net worth.
No one's really getting much value out of this lane down bottom for Optic, though, which is keep that net worth going in the favor of Virtus Pro.
True.
Really want one of your supports down here, but they don't really have someone who kind of sit down here and soak into this lane without being in trouble. So this is a good smoke, though. They kind of predict this pressure coming on the end. They're wrapping right past the aggressive wards of VP.
CC, it's one of those pounces aggressively. Now the ensnare onto Luna. Arrow follows up. This will be a great kill onto Ramses. Solo just uses the TP. No way to interrupt. No ice path yet. And all the other stuns on cooldown. Good heads-up play there, but they lose the Luna.
Especially using the Moonlight Shadow just to ensure there's no turnaround play there with the Eclipse, just in case. Like, yeah, there's a creep wave nearby, but as long as we have that, we can stop attacking, go invis, and not have...
Luna also at level 6 there, so that Lucent Beam still not maxed out. Makes it a little dicey to pop the there and hope for a kill. Back towards mid, it looks like we'll see a rotation on to 3-3. Roger moving on in at the level 3 Burrow Strike now. Does connect on the Visage, sets it up for no one, and Ramses comes right back at it. We'll go ahead and pop that Eclipse to secure the kill. They bring down the Visage, but now maybe more as Roger eats an arrow up top. Leap forward from CC, brings him down with the Starstorm, but no one on the backside. Now Pasha's joined the party with the Rolling Thunder, and they'll bring down Zai. It's a 2-for-1 favoring VP, though they might need to be careful. Double damage rune is up on the Mirana. Not able to really connect with much, though.
Zai had just gotten level 6 too, so hadn't even skilled up the song. Not quite any sort of a moment there to maybe try and turn that one around. Of course, into the Rolling Thunder, still not a great option.
Yeah, they get the deny on the mid tower, but bottom lane, this could be a solo kill for Pycat. Roger doesn't have much, but they don't have detection. Pasha comes in the back line. Now the follow-up Burrow Strike, and this Drow Ranger will get turned on. Does bring down Roger before she falls. A little bit of a sloppy play there from the Sand King, handing Pycat a freebie, but still, they get the kill.
It's okay. He went way up with that very last sandstorm.
And then way back down. Yep. That was quite the roller coaster of emotions before Raj.
Time with the group up down bottom too. They don't really have the easiest way to just force into this tower without exorcism.
Well, mid lane Solo, he's on the high ground. Nightmare into Fiend's Grip, waiting for friends to be nearby, and it's Ramses. Can they actually find this kill, though? They don't have the lockdown. CC also does not have another leap, but one is all he needs.
Yeah, that's a 4 kill streak too.
And up top, that opens up space for 3-3 to just finish off that tier 1 tower. Not a big access point, but nice for Optic to get a little more gold going their way. It's been 1-for-1 in terms of tower kills, but Optic did secure that deny mid, so
yeah,
helping out the economy.
Like, that's basically what's brought them back now. They get a tower, and then you get big swings, and they're doing the exact same thing down bottom again.
Yeah.
Will not be a deny here.
Uncontested, another freebie. It's finished off by the Dire. A little more gold going the way of the team as Drow Ranger gets close to level 10.
I really like that Peter's not going greedy with the Jakiro either. He's just gone for that 2-1-2. We've seen a couple of Jakiros this tournament skipping the Ice Path at level 5 just because they're able to play so aggressively, but the fact that you have the song ready, you really don't want to miss some opportunity like we have seen several times this tournament where the first song comes out and Ice Path's not there. And you're like, my bad. Should have went for that.
Yeah.
Zai as well this game, he's actually going to skip over the urn. He's going to rush right into the Meteor Hammer instead.
Okay. Roger, pressure down bottom, but he'll be all right. Meteor Hammer on the way. Things slowing down a little bit. Very small lead for Optic, but a lead nonetheless is VP. Opt to actually smoke up with the Pango. Their 2 supports going in onto PPD in very deep this bottom lane. Rolling Thunder starts things off. Moonlight Shadow, though, they don't have detection and they don't need it.
You really don't want to get kills away with this Pango right now. This is all he can do in this game. Try and find these solo pickoffs while he's making the space for the Luna.
Speaking of Solo, he's the one with the dust right now. He gets silenced and he'll get brought down quick, but it's a big epicenter from Roger. Pycat getting low. Song of the Siren resets things a little bit. Pycat with the TP out and Solo with the nice defensive Nightmare to keep himself alive. Will they be able to find more, though? No one trying to wrap around. Doesn't seem like anyone from Optic will be left behind.
Optic, you know that pressure is there. This Luna, every time you can't see her, you know, she's just farming so quickly, and it feels like it's actually VP who are the ones pushing the pressure. You know, they brought in Ramses. He's here to help out with this tower push. Looks like his Mask of Madness is also on the way there.
This is one of those things that VP does so well, is play around Ramses, knowing when to give him farm, when to bring him into team fights. Level 9, Mask of Madness up. Still only a single point in that Lunar Blessing, but getting him involved a little bit earlier than we've seen in games past. They don't finish off that tier 1 down bottom. A lot of control from VP as they just back up, TP home, and are pretty happy to let Ramses now just clear out the jungle.
Yeah, they don't commit the exorcism either. So they're just saying, listen, you know, we'll leave that there. We'll come back later. And all the meanwhile, you had Roger in the mid lane stacking another Ancient Camp there. So you got a triple stack prepared for the Luna. And you don't really have someone who abuses them that quickly on the Dire side. Draft can certainly farm them, but no one's, you know, going around making triple or quad stacks for it.
Nice TP from Solo. Good use of the Nightmare per usual on the Bane Elemental. He will dodge yet another incoming gank. Highcat also getting some time in the jungle. He's got the Shadow Blade queued up, first item. Did grab that extra band of Elven Skin for some added agility, but no Dragon Lance, no Hurricane Pike. He's going straight for that invisibility initiation tool.
Yep, almost level 12 as well. So we'll get the second point in the marksmanship, and that's when they're really going to hit their stride. They'll have the Shadow Blade by then. They're going to look to wrap around towers and secure those before there's really a chance for VP to set up. Yeah.
Now PPD, he bumps into a Death Prophet. Maybe not the hero you want to find solo. Nice silence onto 3-3, and Ramses on the back. He's gotten a clip. Not doing as much damage as he would have hoped, but PPD still falls, and now the follow-up is there, and they will bring down the Visage. However, they lost their Luna. CC connects with an arrow.
Save your buddy syndrome coming in huge
I don't think this is the fight that Optic really want to take, or leap rather, but he still gets silenced, and there is nowhere for CC to go. That's that killing spree you were talking about, and it gets ended by no one's Death Prophet. You can see how excited he is.
Quite clearly. Now, mind you, they got the Luna at the very least, but still a pretty big win there, as you can see.
Look at the net worth trade, though. That's a 1,500 swing.
Those Ancients are still there for the Luna as well. Now, they did scout, though, so Optic perhaps going to come in and maybe ward these up. If they can find a good fight. Definitely a great situation with Song. Catch a couple people around them.
Still a small lead for Optic, though, despite those missteps. I guess now Death Prophet, a serious concern. Very early Eul's Scepter on no one. And he's going to go straight into Shiva's Guard. At least that's what he's got queued up next.
Okay. Maybe just not seeing the big value in the BKB quite yet. Pasha as well. He's hoarding a lot of gold here. And he's thinking about, okay, he will go back for the Blink Dagger. Had it queued up for a while. And so he's just saying, I'm going to my Blink first. I'll grab my Eul's after. Just this kind of utility Pango that Isis Ice, I would say, probably popularizes the most. Maybe Isis Ice tends to go for a few more of the aura items.
Sure.
Whereas Pasha is just looking to create as much room as possible in these team fights to allow Ramses to stand there.
And I think against a Drow Ranger, too, you're a little bit more incentivized to grab that long-range initiation tool so you can get in the back line very easily. They do scout out the Ancients. Optic, with their smoke, not going to go for it. Instead, just rotate mid. They force out a Glyph pretty much right away. VP posturing like they might make a defense, but tower does end up going down to the Wrath of the Visage Birds. And all the while, Ramses did manage to grab another tower somewhere.
Peter almost trying to bait a fight here, essentially. Like, he's just saying, I want them to go on me, guys, because then we can, like, create some sort of a Song moment.
And VP seemed pretty wise to it. Solo, though, wraps around the backside. It's a Fiend Strip, and PPD...
But what's happening? They're stealing the Ancient stack.
That's true.
Do the math, and this is going to work out.
Let me see here. Yeah, the Ancients are a little more valuable. Okay, we'll call that a win for Optic. And now a buyback from PPD.
So what just happened there, and the reason why, they scanned the pit. They walked right past it, and I believe Optic thought they were going in.
Well, they are going to get this kill on Solo, so that's one, but maybe they'll just go into Roche themselves.
I mean,
a little
they need it.
Scary.
It's a Drow strat, though. Like, this is the time. You have Song. You have the keys, but who is one of the best heroes in the pit and works versus Song? That is the Pangolier. He has that Blink Dagger. This could be terrifying.
Rogers up on the high ground. There's Pasha, the Rolling Thunder. He's going to jump in. Roche is low, and he's going to break it up. There's the Song of the Siren. Maybe going in a little bit too early. The root is there, and Pasha actually getting hit by Roche as well. Who's going to go down first? It's CC and PPD. Roche gets finished off by the Radiant, and Roger grabs the Aegis. VP intercept the entire thing. They don't get to hang on to it, but it's a 1-for-3 at the end of the day, and Optic are completely repelled.
Pangolier. Who would have ever thought he would end up being the Naga counter after such So many pubs destroyed by that net. Finally, that gets nerfed a little bit. And he's just there to blink into that pit. And, oh, actually, he even got the roll. He just jumped over the wall. Didn't have to waste his blink dagger. A skilled Pango.
You know, and here we go. We'll take a look at the replay here. So, like you said, this is a Drow strat. You've got the medallion. You feel pretty safe doing this. You know it's a risk, but with the Naga ultimate available, you think maybe we can do it. Pasha jumps in. It feels maybe just a little bit early, but the timing was actually on point.
That permastun. And the silence as well stacked on top. So by the time CCNC wasn't permastun, he was just silent. So.
That epicenter, though, from Pasha, or from Roger, rather, massive.
A steal, of course, to get himself a second life there. So a Drow strat that didn't get the first Aegis.
Not great.
You're sweating a bit. You're like, oh, jeez. Not feeling that hot.
Not the draft. We want to be playing from behind.
But
sure.
The plan, it can still come together, right? They have the Shadow Blade. It's a little bit more difficult with the Aegis, but as long as we play around that song, we can still try and secure these tier 2 towers.
Yeah.
The only problem is that now it's going to be slower, which means more time for Ramses, which means more items for Ram, and a scary loon.
And now CCNC, he's got the invisibility rune walking right next to a sentry ward. Be a little bit careful here. Roger nearby. They're going to drop a ward right next to the sentry. Oh, that hurt.
Roger's literally looking at CCNC. just bagging him to arrow, and he really wants the pro spec under that. Oh, look at that.
There it is. Roger with the baits. Now the Rolling Thunder on the way in. They want this Mirana. 1 pounce, make it 2. She'll make it to the high ground. And the rest of VP will just kind of back up here. So stalemate. Optic, don't lose anything.
Yeah, ends up costing them a ward, though.
That's unfortunate.
But that's okay, because they know that the Pango ulti's down. So they feel a little bit more secure going in. That is one of the best initiation tools they have, obviously, right now. The other being Roger. So.
It's also not the longest cooldown, though. Only 70 seconds. It is a window. You're absolutely right, but not a big one.
They've taken the tower at the very least. So objective secured. And the only thing is timing, though. You know?
Yeah.
And look, they don't really have the best idea of what the Radiant are up to right now. Because Pycat and 3-3 are down hiding in trees while the rest of the Virtus Pro Squad are on the opposite side of the map.
Well, Optic looking like they wanted to pressure the tier 3, but they see some heroes on the high ground, and they just back up to clear out the Radiant jungle. So no high ground siege quite yet. 3-3 does pick up a pretty good sieging item. It's the Pipe of Insight, so you can keep that creep wave alive a little bit longer against all this magic damage.
Yeah. And that Rolling Thunder is included in there. So.
Oh, Raj. He's going to walk right into him. That's a silence into an ice path, and Dead Sand King will result.
Surely they won't still be in our jungle, right? I mean, it's been so long. Clearly that was the case.
Yeah, and some item progression coming out for Optic. That Meteor Hammer has been secured on Zai's Naga, and now CCNC. Not only a haste rune in the bottle, but that Maelstrom. One of the first items for Mirana to really be enabled in terms of damage output. Looks like a Lincoln Sphere will be up next for CC. Try to engage the survivability.
Couple nice. Largely the Burrow Strike and the...
Pycat playing with fire down here. Looking perhaps for a solo pickoff with that Shadow Blade, but not going to find the opening, and heads back to safe territory with a TP into some neutrals. I don't know, Trent, we always used to joke that Elder Titan was the king of the Roche Pit. You know, constant stomps, breaking things up with that Earth Splitter, but I think Pango might be the new king of the castle in that regard.
I think he's pretty good. I think
they're
Naga,
different, right? It's not a fair comparison. You think Naga is the true queen of the castle.
Naga's the best, let's be honest. But,
all right.
You know, he definitely ranks up there. He can be like a prince or something.
A few more, another Roche fight like that where Pango jumps in through the song and still sets it up, then I'm going to have to disagree.
How many heroes can do that against Naga?
That's why Pango's the king, baby. 3K net worth lead for VP, though. They are hanging in there. It feels like Optic are the ones applying the pressure, but VP are doing a great job just splitting up the map, defending, but also finding that space for Ramses to still farm as well as no one. They are topping the charts, and this is costing Optic. They are going to get a tier 2 tower outside of the base, and they need these objectives, but there's always an opportunity cost. And when you're clumped up like this, that's an opportunity for VP to split push themselves, farm their own jungle, and Ramses is nothing to scoff at. He's got a full Manta style now and a BKB really not that far away.
Yeah, Optic have been reading it pretty well too, though. They've had Pycat not even with them. He's also just been farming through the jungle and everything to get up into that BKB, so they're going to be ready for that big tier 3 high ground siege. And ideally, I think you're just going to have to wait for them. Honestly, I think if you can clear out all the tier 2s for now, that would be good. But going high ground at this point, it kind of feels like it might be their last shot, honestly.
It's really risky trying
it's
to do it
scary.
without Roche. It really does. And it's going to be a long time, though. We've got 2 minutes, 40 seconds until we see the timer. And it could be another 2.5 minutes past that. So could be a pretty long window that Optic are waiting before they even attempt high ground siege. Though at the same time, 3-3 looking for that Aghanim Scepter. That is a big item on the Visage. That does make your sieging a little bit more potent.
See if we can just, everyone pick an item that you can get to by the time that we go Roche and high ground and build it.
Yep.
They are lacking pretty heavy on sustain, though. They still haven't opted back for anyone to go for an urn or anything. I've seen that be punished a couple times so far this tournament. Really, the best thing they have is like the Helm Aura and then the Pipe. So I wouldn't mind if Peter could get somewhere, but obviously he's kind of stuck buying the whole game.
Yeah, that's the reality of Position 5. It feels like in this meta, Sentry, Sentry, Sentry. We've seen it every single game, that poverty mode. Especially when you're behind, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah, you just you can't afford for them to have any sort of good vision over you in these fights so early on in the game when everyone is just so ridiculously important. As there it is, the Pycats, BKB. A little bit of a DD rune left here, maybe hungry for a fight mid. Kind of hoping Zai can initiate with Zimdas.
Well, they jump in
That's a hell
onto
of a
no
target.
one. Remember, he's got a BKB as well as a Yule's Scepter. Nightmare buys him a little bit of time. BKBs get popped on both sides of the coin. No one getting low, but Fiend's Grip is there on Pycat. Song of the Siren now to break things up, but cancel quickly. Pasha jumps in the back lines. No one surviving so long here. He's still alive. He's going to walk away, and now Pycat gets brought down by the Ramses Eclipse. This Luna is just cleaning up. It's 2-0. That is probably the worst target OG could have found to initiate that fight.
Well, it looks so good, though, because first the BKB popped, but you still have a DD on the Drow, and then they just use the song to isolate her, make it so you can focus her completely in that fight. But just, like, even a 10-second BKB, it wore off at the last second, so she gained that immunity, regened up a little bit more, they ended the song, and then it was just enough to keep him alive.
It looked like Zai had canceled that song early, but he didn't. He kept it on for the full duration to try to isolate her, like you said. And she also had that plate mail. We'll look at the replay here. We'll relive the madness.
Yeah, that value plate mail coming in absolutely.
Yeah, that was the difference maker, 100%. Look how many right clicks he tanks. Also, solo with really good positioning.
Yep.
This Fiend's Grip also just mitigating that little bit of damage to keep no one alive. Every play adding up.
And yeah, you can see here BKB, and I mean, he must have been in the double digits, honestly. Like, that looked like under 100 HP when the BKB then loses, gets the immunity.
And that's the other problem with the Pango. Normally, that would have been a Death Prophet versus the world, but Pango, he doesn't care about the Song of the Siren when he's got that ultimate form on, and he broke up that entire fight. So much impact from this Pangolier, Trent. Smoke now, here we go. Initiation from Roger. Catches 3-3, the BKB from Ramses. He does not have an Eclipse, but still has the Manta style. Visage actually going to be able to walk away from this. That's the 9-second BKB charge on the Moonrider. A little bit disappointing for Virtus Pro, but also really nothing lost there.
Just the fact that they're driving back this Drow lineup is, you know, they're the ones who are now starting to take control over the Roche pit. And there's a minute and 40 seconds here for Optic to try and take that back. And yeah, you saw the value plate mail. Now you see the medallion as well there. Or no one. So just going hard into the armor, understanding that's a Drow.
Yep, itemizing perfectly here against this lineup. It is a pretty late Roche respawn. Another minute 20 till the big boy comes up in the pit, and Optic have to be disappointed with that. They smoke up, kind of hoping Roche might have respawned by now, but
there's no BKB?
not going to be the case. They're going to try to deward, get some vision deep in enemy territory. They'll be
Very close,
successful on that front. Yeah, almost grabbing the Luna. Butterfly coming up next for Ramses. That is a big one, because I don't think an MKB is going to be coming out for Optic anytime soon. That's pretty scary. Arrow up top. Pasha rolling thunder right into it.
To be fair, I mean, you got to give him some credit. That's a moving target.
But unfortunately, it was a magic immune moving target there. So easy TP, and Pango makes it out. But not a big lead for VP. As you mentioned a couple times, against a Drow strat, you don't really need a big lead because you kind of expect the Drow strat to be ahead around this stage of the game if things are going well. But VP hasn't run away with it quite yet. Optic are within one fight of regaining that advantage that they had.
And it's just felt like the vision game has been very difficult for Optic so far. So many times that you see them kind of like clumped and clustered, and from their point of view, it's like, okay, they could be smoking at us. But we can see that they're all like farming on the side of Virtus Pro. It's happened like 3 or 4 times, and so they're just kind of slipping further and further behind. Now the Crimson Guard picked up just in time this big fight that Optic are looking for. Roche is up. Everything coming together.
They've scouted it. Naga Siren has an illusion in the pit. Here's the smoke from Optic. They know they need to do this, but
Look
it's
at
so
Roger.
risky.
Positioned back there as well. Will Pasha break it up once more? Will they get here in time?
Roche falls so fast, and there's that Song of the Siren. Beautifully done by Zai, and they get it. That's Aegis Cheese. Now will they find an initiation? Solo caught as Roger goes in with the epicenter. PPD is going to be brought down. That's a quick pick there. The rest of Optic with a Delta split, Moonlight Shadow. Looks like they'll all survive.
I love how Zai sings and TPs. No one else is TP ready. And it's just like, there's a little bit, maybe that was the plan and everything. They used the Moonlight, they were able to get out, but surely some moments a bit worrisome there as they do lose Peters. He baits there, but Zai too far forward.
Exactly. They're going to jump in. They know the Naga doesn't have any easy way to reset. Pasha trying to get back. He hops up, and they will bring down the Naga Siren. That's 2 in the grave. No buybacks available. And even though they have Aegis Cheese, VP say, hey, this is the time to push the advantage. Let's bring this thing down. They get the tier 2. The exorcism's been used, and they've got everything.
And how they do it again, aggressive vision. Ward on the high ground, spotting someone just a bit too far up while the tier 2 was still there.
Oh, look at these Visage Birds. They could be in trouble. The pipe ends up getting used as they find a stun on a few. Another nice defensive nightmare buys Roger some time, but he will get locked down on the high ground. No one forced to back up, and VP say, all right, maybe we bit off more than we could chew. They've got a response. Let's back out. They do a lot of damage to that tier 3 tower, but that's it.
Solid hold by the remnants of Optic there as that 4th bird coming in handy.
And still Aegis
Third
Cheese. Aegis, of course, on the Mirana, and she's in the hands of the Visage right now.
I get too excited about that 25. I need the quad birds, man. The quad copters. Okay, for now, 3 of them will have to do. You know, if this game goes Optic's way, I'm sure they're hoping that 3-3 doesn't hit 25.
That's actually a fair point. Yeah, I think they don't want this game to be over. I was thinking the same thing about that Mirana level 25, the Moonlight Shadow cooldown. We've seen how potent that can be in terms of accelerating your team to the late game, but not what you're hoping for here as they take out that tier 2 mid. Last outer tower for Virtus Pro. They do have all 5 alive, but no exorcism. That's the big ultimate they're missing, and certainly presenting a window of opportunity here for Optic to break high ground.
Yeah, Ramses has his TP. Not quite pressured to come back yet, and now...
Arrow on to no one. This could be big, but another defensive nightmare buys him some time. He'll be able to BKB, and he lives. Roger, though, has to pay with his life. No buyback available on the Sand King. There are 3 buybacks available for VP on all of the cores. Neither support has it available. There's the Glyph, the Crimson Guard, helping delay this push, but it'll expire. And now this is pretty easy for Optic. Very low-risk sieging as they just put those familiars on the high ground. No easy way for VP to stop this.
CCNC still in front there with the Aegis. Pasha faking the ulti, maybe trying to bait a Song.
They lose 1 familiar. They've got 1 set of barracks, but there's the Song from Zai. They're trying to isolate this Pangolier. Yule's Scepter, Cheese gets eaten. Song is done. Optic keep all 5 alive, and now they'll be the ones to retreat, happy with the barracks in their favor.
Talking with Cheese, Pasha abusing there that whole Yule's idea, the self-Yules while you're spinning around with the stun, but it's still not enough. They don't secure anything. They still get themselves that tier 3, and they grab the Radiant Courier with the Eagle Song.
Big kill. Now Luna not going to be able to get that butterfly at the timing he was hoping for. 3 minutes.
And we know they didn't really have an answer for it either.
Potentially huge for Optic, and despite all that, Virtus Pro are still hanging on to the small net worth advantage.
It's true, but at least Optic are finding what they need with this draft. You know, they're not as ahead as they want to be. It's not the ideal, like, perfect draft timing, but it's also not as early game reliant as it once was. There's certainly better situations for these lineups. You've got talents. We've got whole new items now. So at the same time, though, we heard the panel discussing the idea of the Eon Disc coming out, too, for someone like No One, you know? After the Shiva's Guard, if he goes for that, maybe if he even... I wouldn't mind him stopping back for it, honestly. Like, the Eon Disc is so important so he doesn't just get comboed down. It's been close. There have been some great saves by Solo, but if he's not there, these fights could just be over.
Exactly. And the burst damage from Optic is just going to continue to increase as this goes on. The Drow Ranger hasn't hit her ceiling yet. She is now level 19, so maxed out marksmanship, getting pretty close to that talent here to add some extra damage into the fray. So things still a little scary for VP, but a strikingly even game on our hands for game number 1, Trent. There is so much on the line here in this best of 3 for Optic, and they're hanging in there.
Yeah, with the talent now up there for Pycat, you are looking at a very hefty ore here.
81. Not bad indeed. BKB also up on the Visage.
They
Optic
also,
continuing to itemize very well.
Yeah, they went back for the urn on Peter as well. So
Very smart.
we'll have ourselves a little bit sustained. Now, mind you, a lot of the kills are gone, but
No charges.
try and
but
find one.
no, we've seen how important that sustain is in these fights. Even just being able to use 1 or 2 charges on your cores to reinitiate, that can be the difference between getting a barracks or not. VP feeling the pressure, though, probably going to continue to stay defensive until that courier respawns. Only 1 minute until Ramses can get that butterfly.
Out of Optic, but they will retreat.
Oh, double Shivas going to be coming out for VP, it looks like. Pango does have most of the core pieces, and it's actually completed on the Death Prophet already. A little surprising.
Okay. I mean, it's a pretty pumped up lineup, too.
Yeah, I just, you know, the value says maybe one of those could be an Assault Kuros and help things out a little bit. Does
or
synergize
Lotus.
pretty well with Luna as well as DP. But yeah, even Lotus would be another great item to mix and match with. Not too often you see double Shiva.
Point, though, we have 2 minutes. Possible Roche and Optic, I'm sure, hoping to maybe push just a little bit. Maybe trying to chip away at that top tier 3. They're kind of making this big swarm rotation all the way across. Still lots of lane pressure coming in bottom. No real answer down there. It looks like Virtus Pro just not sure if they want to venture that far.
Well, Virtus Pro now with some options. The Courier is back, and that means Butterfly is up. Maybe they want to take a fight off this timing. There's a smoke picked up by Solo.
It was a good scan from Optic. They have so much vision in the Radiant jungle that they figured they must be in this area.
Uh-oh, initiation onto Luna. Ramses walks up way too far. The arrow does get intercepted by Pasha. Huge play there as they start to turn this around. It actually keeps Ramses alive. The Eclipse doing so much damage. CC gets brought down by a stray auto attack from no one. The BKB is mitigating damage, but 3-3 not going to be able to hang on unless they have detection. They don't need it. He'll be finished off 2-0. VP strike right back and might even be able to grab one more if they can catch Pycat on the run. He has been dusted up. That Shadow Blade not going to save you here, and he has no reinforcements inbound. Here's the Shivas. He'll get clipped by that. And the setup is here, Trent. A disaster for Optic.
Honestly, BB could still lose this game, and you have to give Solo the MVP. It's unbelievable. There have been so many fights where they should have just won. They should have executed the draft strat. They should have gotten that instant pick off with the arrow, and he gets these nightmare saves over and over. Like, he's at the point where they have to respect him like he's an Oracle or like he's a Dazzle, because he's just casting graves, man. He's saving people every time.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But that fight, it was Pasha. The Rolling Thunder, he pops it, he blinks in. That arrow was just about to hit the Luna, and I think that's a guaranteed kill with the stun duration on top of it. Not only
MVP.
So we're going to look at it right
need?
here. So look at Solo. He's got the Fiend script. This is actually after the epic save from the Pango, but a heartbreaker for CC as well. It looked like he was going to be able to leap away, but that one auto attack from no one chased him down, and it was enough to just finish him off. Very close call.
The other irritating thing about this Bane is that although you want to treat him like one of these safe supports, is that they're having a hard time finding him because he just gets to level 10 talent, you have 100 extra cast range, and Nightmare, it goes pretty far. He's got himself the Ghost Scepter as well, so it has to be that full burst too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now it's VP that want to try something at high ground. A little bit risky here. No ultimates available. Well, they are starting to cool down, but no Exorcism or Eclipse for another 30. It's an immediate glyph from Optic. They want to keep this tier 3 tower standing so their shrines don't get finished off. Seems they will be successful on that. Now smoke from VP. This is a fake back, Trent.
I mean, that's... Who leaves the tower? Virtus Pro. Now, I know they got some patience, but it just...
And now 5 seconds till those big ultis are up. They've got the Fiend script, they've got the Rolling Thunder, and the Epicenter. They are ready to take this fight.
See if Pasha's the hero once again. This time prepared from Optic. Double sentries dropped, ensuring no aggressive vision is there. What ruined them on the last push. And they'll be driven back. Smoke will expire. And where's the big man? He's down in the pit. So who knows? We got ourselves the creep here from the Dire. Radiant creep converted, of course, to fight for the real cause here.
Ramses
going to TI.
will be able to finish off this tier 2. But yeah, worth reiterating the odds here. If Optic win this series, it secures them enough DPC with top 4 at this event to qualify for TI8.
No. Now that's a trade.
Uh-oh,
They're on your
Roshan.
ass.
It's going down quick, but so is that bottom lane. There's no clear for Optic, and VP know it. Roche
the
does go
nightmare.
down uncontested, but again, the setup. Roger with the follow-up on the side. He's down. He does have the buyback, though, and they'll have that Song of the Siren to try and reset, but it's a full lane of barracks destroyed by VP, and they will just walk away.
Oh, like an open book, Optic were well read. That was brutal. VP saw that they need that Aegis. They know what they're going to do. And they'll have the Refresher Shard song. That is a good point. But I don't know if it'll be enough.
Is it going to be enough? That
be
is the
fair,
million-dollar question right now.
It's one push. You know, that's kind of all Optic need. That's probably what they're in for at this point.
It's true. However, the buyback status is going to be rough. Actually, better than we thought. 2 cores available. Solo almost getting caught as he gets pushed back, but will survive. So right now for Radiant, they've got buyback on Luna and DP. That's it.
Okay, that is actually a very good sign. I feel like Optic just want to go for this right. You know, you're against this Luna. They must know that with that Rax now down, they're fighting a disadvantage in terms of like pushing out these lanes and everything.
Yeah.
And slowly over time, we're just going to start ticking more and more into Virtus Pro's favor.
Aghanim Scepter queued up by Zai. Only about 1,500 gold away there. Always a potential game changer with that massive AoE heal. Very tense game. Small net worth lead for VP, but feels like anyone's game for the taking. Whoever can win this next fight will be able to do so much damage in terms of objectives. 3-3, a little bit forward here outside of the pit.
He does not have cheese or the Aegis, so a decent target. Of course, he does still have a 9-second VP.
Double damage rune spawns in the middle. Who's going to grab it? It's a game of chicken, but they get the initiation onto CCNC, and that's the end of the Aegis, just like that.
At the very least, it went to no one, and not Ramses.
That's true. Visage Birds will set up onto the Death Prophet, but again, Nightmare is there, and no one will be just fine. Trying to finish off these birds. They'll catch 1, make it 2. Why not 3? Line them up and knock them down. No familiars for you. He does have a resummon, and he'll go ahead and use it, but a long cooldown. Well, so much for that Aegis advantage.
Yep. All right, thought we still have the cheese.
And the refresher. That's maybe the bigger piece. The hands of Zai.
Trying to get some levels going here as well. See if he can survive through another combo there.
Brutal. And there it is, the Eon Disc, the item we've talked about so much for no one. Almost level 25 on that Death Prophet as well.
Yeah. Honestly, he hasn't needed it, frankly. Like, the saves
No.
have been so good that his itemization has worked out perfectly. You know, he said, like, I'm good for the armor.
But just think about it. Now that no one is opened up to have all that bandwidth to be used aggressively, what does it mean for VP?
Got him.
Got him. Tough stuff for Optic. Really struggling to find this opening now, and you lose that Aegis, but saying, hey, we need to wait for next Roche is maybe not that realistic. It's a long time till he comes up, and now Satanic completed on the Luna, also getting very close to her level 25 talent.
Now, Optic are now just trying to battle back up against Ramses. You're looking for an MKB on both the Drow and the Piranha, and who knows how long they're actually looking all right, but buybacks, you know, it's getting a bit dicey. At the same time, are buybacks going to save you against this Virtus Pro draft?
No, but
It's
I
hard
don't
to
know
tell.
that that's a case to say don't pull for buyback. That's a pretty risky proposition.
Great advice, kid.
At the same time, Optic, they're on the low ground here. They're going to start sieging away at that tier 3. These birds taking a lot of damage. One of them actually falls. No resummon for another 30 seconds. Sort of unfortunate for 3-3, but Virtus Pro respond immediately, and Optic won't really be able to do that much damage. Basically just tickling that tier 3 tower. Double damage rune does spawn down bottom, so maybe this will give them the opening they've been looking for. Or maybe it'll be a farming tool.
Yeah, lane's just in too poor a position. Trying to use it. Honestly.
Fair point. Top very close to that tier 3 with a siege creep to boot.
Well, the line from Ramses.
Gen Rune scouted out by that Naga illusion. Cheeky little play there from Zai as,
Oh, wow.
uh-oh.
Oh, he's upset. I should have hit that rune. How dare you?
I need that regeneration.
That's the old headset hitting the keyboard. He was very upset.
Sec moment. So we'll see a small pause here from Virtus Pro. Still a very tense game, though, Trent. 43 minutes in, 25-14. The net worth lead, basically negligible at this point. All about execution, all about who's going to get caught.
Don't let the chat read. This is very tense.
Yes.
No joking around. This is no laughing matter. These players are not having fun.
Never.
Unacceptable.
Never,
Especially not those Virtus Pro guys.
never before in the history of Dota have Virtus Pro had fun playing. Very close to that Aghanim Scepter, though, on site. How much of a game changer is that Ags on Naga? On paper, it feels really good, but in this game, does it really change all that much?
I mean, it's just super circumstantial. I think in this game, it actually looks pretty good because there's a lot of situations where they don't feel confident really engaging with the song. It's never felt like it's been that sort of a tool. It's more so been the, you know, the Nightmare save comes out, we didn't quite kill him, like, let's use the song now, or we're being initiating on, let's use the song. It's not like, okay, let's catch 3 and go for the Meteor Hammer and everything,
Right.
so...
It has been a counter-initiation tool, which does tend to make it a slightly better proposition. That's fair.
Right, at that point, you're hoping that it's actually healing someone up. At the same time, they don't really have this crazy high HP core that you're abusing with the percent HP. They've got under 2k HP on both of their top heroes, the Mirana and the Drow.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair point. He does also have the Blink Dagger, so Zai actually found quite a bit of farm this game. To be perfectly honest, the Naga Siren is really doing quite well for herself. Although at that same token, Roger is farming just behind her. He's got Yule's Blink, and now his own Aghanim Scepter is not that far away, though. Still about 1,400 gold to go.
Invis for Luna, Arcane for the Death Prophet. Some excellent runes here.
Very scary to have in the hands of the DP. Makes Exorcism feel like a regular ultimate instead of one with that ultra long cooldown as they smoke up.
This time they might see some action. I mean, that tier 3 is so low.
Also from Optic, and Optic going to go for the wraparound here. There is a glyph available for the Dire. There it is, used right away. The jig is up as they jump onto the back line. Song of the Siren to initiate. Arrow flies right on through. Instead, they go for solo. They know how pesky this Bane has been, but the barracks are already gone. Refresher now used by Zai. They've got another song. Buyback from the Bane already, but no one. He's got the Eon Disc, and he's going to pop the BKB. They go in. Roger falls, but this Rolling Thunder breaking up the back line. Zai goes down, has a buyback now on the Sand King. No buyback available on Zai. It'll be the end of PPD. He'll use his buyback. The BKB on 3-3 expires. He makes it back to the high ground, but VP doing so much damage here. They've even gotten the objectives they wanted. Now it's just heroes. Pasha reinitiates. PPD dies back. 2 in the grave. Not able to get back in this game. It's a 5v3 for 40 seconds, and this could be the end. Ramses makes the call and says, guys, it's tier 4s. They don't have buybacks. We're about to take this game as they stun onto CCNC. Force staff back to friendly territory, but it's Pasha. He's trying to finish him off. Not quite. The shield crash is not enough. Tier 4 is still hanging on there. VP have to decide what they want to do, but they've got siege creeps to help them out. Visage Bird's not going to be enough, but a huge gust silences the entire team. Unfortunately, no follow-up. Naga Siren up in 15. She will have that ultimate. Optic are buying themselves some time, but that's the end of the Visage. Now a buyback there. Fiend's Grip on CC. Buyback on him as well. Pycat getting low. He's down. It's the 3rd buyback. They want to hold these Megas. This could be the final fight of Game 1 for Optic as Mega creeps could be inbound. Ramses focusing purely on objectives, and that's it. All the barracks are down for Optic. The game might not end here, but crippling damage. Song of the Siren from Zai sets it up with the Meteor Hammer. Perfectly done on 2, but BKB from no one is respawned. Is it going to be enough? They're losing heroes left and right. 2 down on VP. No one very low, trying to make it to the back. 3-3 will finish him off, but now Pasha with big damage. They don't have the detection. 3-3 trying to make it into the tree lines, but Ramses unrelenting. They'll bring him down, and now a die back for the Visage. Jeet called as the throne gets destroyed. It's VP in Game 1.
Not to take anything away from Ramses and no one, but the supporting cast, the 3, 4, and 5 of this game, absolutely unbelievable. Ramses, it just felt like he had